say you're looking for a new mirrorless camera. Something affordable, but capable, portable, small, friendly, easy to use. When I was shopping for replacements for my Canon EOS M, the original mirrorless camera by Canon, I was looking at the Canon M6 Mark II, the latest and greatest of the M line. But it was a little pricey, and the features on it were a little bit more than I needed. And that's why, for my next M camera, I decided to get the Canon EOS M Mark I, the very first version. A camera that I love, that I think is stylish, and that has been a great travel companion over the last year or so since I've been using it. A year ago, I really started to think about replacing my original Canon EOS M. I tried the M200, that was my first replacement, but that camera just didn't quite do it for me. The image quality was great, it was a nice upgrade over the M, but it wasn't all that I needed. So I started to look at the Canon M6 Mark II, but again, that was a little bit too much for my budget. The specs were more than what I needed. Here's what I did need. I needed customizable buttons, buttons that I could set within the menu system to be just what I needed. I also needed a comfortable grip. The M200 provided no kind of grip on the front. I needed something that was comfortable in my hands, that was light, easy to carry around, and so I looked at the Mark I M6. It was just like the M2 in style and form factor, but a little bit more affordable and a little bit more reasonable on the spec side of things. Some of the basics on the original M6. Number one, it came out in 2017. It was a follow-up from the Canon M3, which was the first body to feature this style, this body style with the grip after the M2. And then this was followed up by the Canon M6 Mark II in 2019. 24 megapixels, that's plenty. It has really fast and really nice dual pixel autofocus, so a really step up from the M and M2 and that line of cameras. There's a little pop-up flash on here, which I never use, but is great for those people that want to use a little bit of flash in their world. It's got the nice tilty screen, which is great when you're out and about shooting, especially with no viewfinder on it. And this uses the Digix 7 image processor, so a couple generations before what's out now, but works great, very fast processing, and the image quality is outstanding. One of the reasons I love this camera so much is some of the fit and finish things that are on it that are especially an upgrade to the Canon M and the M2 and those kind of things. Number one, this grip is fantastic. It fits my hand perfectly. I can one hand hold it very easily, just like this. And it's got a little thumb rest in the back here that lets me, point it, shoot it, and carry it around. I love having this grip. It's so nice to have. The tilt screen is great, just being able to frame my shots from looking down. All the Fuji style dials on the top here where I can dial in my aperture, my exposure compensation, and then all of the camera modes are on here as well, which is really great. You can just look down and set it, or you can do it by your thumb, whichever you want to work with. The autofocus is super fast, it locks on, it's very accurate, much faster than the M, which I've been used to for years now. And I love the styling of it, that classic retro, almost Fuji style, silver top, silver bottom with my silver lens. All of this makes it a fun camera to use. I just love picking it up, taking it around, shooting images, and I get a lot of compliments on it too, which is a lot of fun. A couple little things that I like about the Canon M6. Number one, and this is just a silly thing, but I bought the silver 22mm lens to go with this kit, and with the silver top and bottom on this, I get a lot of nice compliments on it. People actually think sometimes it's a film camera because of that retro styling. So, you know, it's kind of a fashion statement. I just like the way it looks. You can pay more for the Mark II version of the M6, but I, for one, don't need all those megapixels or video specs. The files are a little bit smaller, and so they're easier to work with in Lightroom. Having an EF adapter on this thing so you can adapt some of your larger Canon lenses opens up the whole world. You know, you can put a 50mm on here, 28mm, any of those great EF lenses that Canon made. What are some of the downsides to the Canon M6? Well, number one, unlike the original, the Canon EOS M, it's not quite as tough. There's plastic on the top, plastic on the bottom. It doesn't have that solid metal feel to it like the original Canon M did and the M2 after it. So toughness, it's not quite there. And I have dropped it before and it's come up with a couple of skid marks. You know, so it's not quite as tough as those original M's were. There's no viewfinder. This is just like the M, right? You've got to rely on the back screen, although you can buy the optional electronic viewfinder that you can slide into the top. I've gotten used to this. I use it all the time, and especially with the little flippy screen, it's easy to look down and frame your shot, and it's harder for people to notice you too when you're doing that. There's one big problem that I had when we were on vacation in Detroit earlier this year, is that on some of these models the shutter button does tend to stick or get stuck, and you have to really press on it to get it to work, or you have to clean it out with some electronics cleaner. That is an issue that I dealt with earlier this spring, and so just be aware that that is a thing that creeps up on you. You can get some electronic cleaner and spray it in there and kind of, you know, wiggle it around and clean it out. There's guides online that'll help you do that kind of thing as well. Finally, the video specs on the original M6 just aren't that great, especially in these modern times. There's no 4K, there aren't, you know, high frame rate options, there's not a lot of color depth or anything like that. The video is fine if you're just pointing and shooting and taking video as you go, but don't rely on this to be your hybrid camera or your video only camera. And I use this mainly for photography, so just keep that in mind. Recently, my family and I took a vacation to the East Coast. First we went up to Nova Scotia, Canada for a week, and then we went down to Bar Harbor, Maine area around Acadia National Park for another week. So we took a big family vacation on the East Coast, and this was my travel kit. This was all I took, and it was a great mobile camera kit for me. It's light, it's easily portable, I've got a nice strap on here that I can carry this thing around, and I also took 3 lenses with me. The 22mm, which is a stellar lens, the 32mm, which is about a 50mm on full frame, which again is a magnificent lens. It's almost perfect. And then I took my zoom kit lens with me as well for those big landscape shots, or when I needed a little bit of a wider angle. Those 3 lenses were really all I needed. So a nice 35mm viewpoint, a 50mm viewpoint, and then a zoom for everything in between that I would need. And as you can see, the image quality on these photos was great. This was a great mobile kit. I loved carrying it around with me. When we were hiking in Acadia National Park or on some trails, it was very easy to put this around my neck and you barely feel it. It's so light and mobile. It was my perfect travel kit. In Nova Scotia, I took my M6 everywhere we went. Everywhere from the beach to hiking and Cape Breton and on down to Halifax, where I did some street photography, especially on Canada Day, which was a lot of fun to see all the Canadians celebrating in red and in style. In Maine, the M6 was great on those foggy mornings when the fog would roll in off the ocean and cover the landscape in a dense haze. It was fun to take those out on those mornings when the image quality really shone and really showed off those landscapes in Maine. What's cool about this spot in Maine is that the fog will come in and off the shoreline just kind of randomly. So it came in this morning really heavy, and I was able to get some shots with the M6, and then it disappeared for a while, and I actually drove to a location and all the fog was gone, but now it's back, and so I'm out here grabbing some foggy shots of the Maine coastline. So here we go. We also took it hiking when we went to Acadia National Park. And again, that portability, that low weight really helped on those big hikes around the national park. I even took it out on a lobster boat from Bar Harbor. We got to see some lobster fishermen do their thing and travel out to a lighthouse where we saw seals resting on the rocks. And again, no matter the situation, the M6 was a great travel companion. Light, portable, and the image quality was outstanding, no matter what I threw at it. So I've been taking this with us all around Maine and Nova Scotia and some East Coast locations that we've traveled with as a family. And again, it's a perfect camera to just grab and go. It's light, it's portable, it's fun to use, it's got great image quality, does good video. It's got everything I need for a family vacation just like this. Can't have loud cars. Mm-hmm. Is it still rolling?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait for the motorcycle to go by.
Should I stop? Restart. Okay.